Today is Good Friday. As of I am recording this, I'm going to try and get it out before I go to church tonight. Warrior weekend. Hoping for some really good things tonight. I love this weekend. It's so much fun. This time, I didn't quite feel like fasting food, which is what I typically do, was necessarily what the Lord was leading me to. So this time, after some praying and seeking and not really sure what to do, and yet still wanting to develop my relationship, it felt like God just wanted me to focus, not just through this time, but actually just going forward on prayer. He wanted me to put more time aside, especially in the evening, afternoon, to pray and spend it with Him. And I gotta tell you, it's awesome. Especially today, I was really, really excited. And today, while I was kind of listening and in the car and stuff, today I was really listening to quite a bit of Christian debates, Christians versus atheists. So I got kind of concerned because I got into my headspace, which of just thinking about that, I start formulating ideas in my head, why things happen. It's just part of watching debates. I think I've watched 5 hours in the past 3 days. It's a lot of debate time. Fun, I enjoy it. Kind of a dork in that regard, but it is fun. And so I was kind of concerned. And there is so much to talk about right now. We've got the shooting in Tennessee that I haven't covered yet. We've got the indictment of Trump that I haven't covered yet. We've got what's going on internationally that I haven't discussed or talked about at all yet. And just a number of crises that just seem to keep populating and filling things in as we continue our march toward what feels like the end times and the rapture. At this point, it's less of a march and not even a double time march. We're straight sprinting to the goal line, it feels like at this point. But I was in my prayer. I was hoping that God would just kind of give me something to talk to you guys about. And I wasn't sure to go with the topics or if to lean into something else. And while I was praying, I was earnestly seeking that God would start to perform a whole lot more miracles for us. That He would start working them through us, that He would start to turn people's lives around. It doesn't matter if we're at the end times or not. We have got to start bringing people to Christ. And while I was praying, the words just came out. Eagerly seek the greater gifts. It's 1 Corinthians 12:31. And I'm wondering, are we doing that? Are we seeking the greater gifts? When was the last time you prayed for greater gifts? When was the last time you prayed for any gift? When was the last time you exercised a gift? I'm asking, when was the last time? I don't know why, but I get the feeling that that this should be more commonplace than what it is. And we're just not doing it. I want to see miracles. I'm starting to pray for the greater gifts. I'm praying for gifts, period. I remember when we were taking a class, me and my wife, about, 4 years ago. And we were talking about the gifts of the Spirit. And there was some people I didn't know. And they made comments. They started listing down. I thought maybe I had 1 or 2 gifts. And I didn't really understand them. But I wasn't putting down. But these other people who've been in church for 30, 40 years are putting down all the gifts. Oh, I have this gift, and I have this gift, and I have this gift. And I don't know why, but it made me think, do you really have these gifts? I'm not seeing these gifts worked. Do you actually have them, or are you just saying they have them? I'm going to be honest with you. If you hear somebody says, I have the gift of faith, gotta ask them, what is that? Do you know? Do you have exceptionally more faith than everybody else? How are you exercising that gift of faith? That gift of knowledge, are you exercising it? Are you talking to people and through the Holy Spirit revealing things in their lives when you're witnessing to them to help bring them to Christ? Be honest. What gifts do you have? Do you have any? I'm sorry. When I think of a gift of the Holy Spirit, I don't think of I have an ability or an inclination towards something. No, I've got a supernatural ability above and beyond what I can do on my own or ever did before. I want to say one gift for sure that I'm pretty certain I have. And another one that, unless it happens a few more times, I'm not willing to say that it's an actual gift and not an isolated one-off. Those are the only two that I will say in any kind of way, shape, or form are supernatural in their administration. Okay. The first one, and maybe I am wrong on this one, is the gift of teaching. And it's because I love it, especially when I'm talking to non-believers or people who don't really have anything going for them with Christ. I can talk, I can explain things to them in a way that is just supernatural, that I couldn't for the longest time do or even understand. I have a great desire to consume anything and everything I can about the Lord to help share it with other people. And when I get in the flow, when the Holy Spirit is moving, man, I'm telling you, there is nothing like it on this planet when I'm talking to somebody, especially a new Christian, and I'm just answering their questions, and it bam, 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 right like that. Supernatural. The Holy Spirit's just giving me what to say, and it is flowing. When I get going, when the Holy Spirit is working, it is a supernatural experience. The other, it's happened twice. I think it needs to be at least a minimum of 3 times in my mind before I'm going to say it's a gift. And it hasn't happened in probably 6, 7, 8 months. Not exactly sure. And that's speaking in tongues. And both times I got confirmation from other people that it was real, that I was actually speaking other languages. It's hard to go through it all, but there were certain things that certain people said that I knew confirmed what I was doing. Now, I didn't have interpretation or anything like that. I had 2 times. Both made me nervous. Both I was extremely hesitant to do because I think speaking in tongues needs to be met with a certain amount of reference. There are way too many people out there that do not meet speaking in tongues and giving a message of tongues in church with proper hesitation and attention to what it is. Whenever you do it, you need to know that it is from God. Whatever is happening, whatever your gift is, it should be supernatural in the way it is exercised. People should be able to look at that and say without a doubt, that is the gift of this, or that is the gift of that. It should be supernatural in the way as it is executed. I'm not seeing that a whole lot. And frankly, I'm wondering how many of you are actually putting yourself even in the opportunity to use whatever gifts the Holy Spirit may give you. Maybe the reason you're not seeing them is because you're not talking with people. You're not witnessing and using whatever gift you have to push forward and to bring people to Christ. If you're not bringing people to Christ, why do you even have a gift? Do you have a gift? Are you certain you have a gift? Right now, I want you to ask yourself, ask the Lord more importantly, do I actually have a supernatural gift given to me by the Holy Spirit that I am using on a regular basis to bring people to Christ? If you're not, hey, you might want to rethink about whether or not you actually have any gifts of the Holy Spirit. I'm just saying, if we are going to get to revival, if we are going to start seeing a harvest and people coming to Christ en masse, we better start finding these gifts and exercising them, no matter how small they are, as often as possible. Start exercising. If you have the gift of faith, start exercising. If you have the gift of knowledge, start exercising it. If you have the gift of administration, you better start administrating a whole bunch of people. Or at least your kids or something, you better start administrating. If it's the gift of teaching, you better be teaching. If it's the gift of preaching, you better start preaching. I don't care if you're preaching out on a street corner to cars doing 80 miles an hour next to you. You better start preaching to somebody. Quit laying around. Quit being lazy, scared, timid, afraid. I got news for you. In Tennessee, a Christian school got shot up by a transgender. And they're wanting to come after more of us. They blamed Christians on the media. I got news for you. The persecution's coming. Are you prepared? We better start using our gifts and getting out there while we can and while we can get used to using them, because soon we might be doing it at threat of death. You might be doing it at the threat of going to prison. Might be at the threat of doing it in the gulag. Better start now while it's still easy and get prepared and prayed up and using your gifts of the Holy Spirit before it's too late. And Lord willing, it's too late because we're in heaven. It is time to wake up. Start getting in prayer more. I don't care what you got to do. You start fighting for your time and your relationship with God. Fight more for it than you would anything else on this planet. And you better start getting moving. We're running out of time here. Whether it's because the rapture is about to happen or because this country is about to descend into absolute chaos and that we are going to be the main target. I guarantee it's coming. Devil's not going to go after Islam. He doesn't care about it. Devil's not going to go after the Mormons. He don't care about them. Devil's not going to go after people that pose no threat to him. But you better know he's going to come for us. He's already starting. He's firing up. He's turning that blade to us. He's turning the eyes of the government toward us. It's coming. And you better get prayed up. And you better quit wasting time. You better start bringing people to Christ while you still can. While it is easy. Because I guarantee if you don't do it when it's easy, you're not going to do it when it's hard. I get it. It's hard to pray for that person at work. To pray with them. To say, hey, do you want me to pray with you? But we got to start doing it. You got to make your faith known. And guess what? Once they know your faith, when you start preaching to them and talking to them about Christ, they perk their ears up a little bit more. They start to correct their speech around you. Better get on the ball while you still can. Because it's coming. And when it comes, we're going to see who are the wheat. And we're going to see real fast who is the chaff. Be the wheat. Start bringing in a harvest. I love you guys, and I'll talk to you next time on a deeper Christian experience. Bye.